Well, here we are. It only took me nearly a year and a half to create part 2 of this video. In the first video, where I discussed popular home exteriors and architectural styles within the US, we went through 10 of those styles. In this video today, I want to share with you the 7 remaining styles that I had in mind. The first is the Dutch style home or Dutch Colonial. What you're going to notice about any of these styles that have any type of origin country within their name, it's likely that that origin country precedes the word colonial, meaning French colonial, Dutch colonial, British colonial, Spanish colonial, the list goes on. Why? Because all of these styles were brought here to the US during the colonizing era, when you had settlers from all of these various countries inhabiting parts of the US. Dutch style is mostly found in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, where Netherlands settlers were most abundant. The most notable feature of this house is the double-pitched roof that is fairly wide, and initially the slope of the angle is very slight, and then the slope changes and it gets very steep. The intention of the original style was to allow the attic to be usable living space. In modern times, you're typically going to find that these spaces are fully finished rooms like rec areas, bonus rooms, possibly a loft dedicated as one bedroom in that space. Next up is the Federal Colonial style. These were made popular right after the American Revolution. They were molded and were supposed to mimic the architectural style of major public buildings that were built between 1770 and 1830. The main body of these houses are a simple square or rectangular shape, but the Federal style differs from your standard colonial in that you have wing rooms which branch off to the side. Oftentimes these wings are additional sunrooms or sitting rooms. The homes are 2 to 3 stories tall and usually roughly 2 rooms deep, meaning when you walk in you have a sitting room on your left, a dining room on your right, and as you continue through, you might have a family room and a kitchen behind those initial rooms. The floor plans of these houses are usually created around a central hallway on the main floor. The next style is probably one of my favorite home exterior styles. It's beginning to show up again in high-end, newly developed communities, and it's called French Provincial. It incorporates a lot of drama and decorative appeal into the design. The presentation of the home gives off feelings of a historic estate, a countryside mansion, and romanticism all at the same time. These exteriors are inspired by rural French manners of the 1600s, and it arrived here in the States shortly after World War I. It's known for steep roofs, tall windows with arched tops, and symmetrical proportions. The fourth style is the Georgian Colonial style. This is likely the most popular colonial style that we have in all of the US. It is essentially the Federal Colonial in a more simple fashion, without the wings and some of the decorative items. It is completely symmetry-based with a purely box shape. Some of the smaller identifying attributes would be 5 windows with shutters that stretch across the top floor. You'll usually find a paneled front door, which is normally accompanied by simple decorative columns in the front entryway. Number 5, Mediterranean. Mediterranean-style homes started popping up in the US right around 1918. As we were heading into the roaring 20s, the economy was booming. People were obsessed with wealth and leisure. These homes were modeled after seaside resorts, infusing Spanish and Italian architecture both at the same time. Movies on the silver screen, meaning black and white movies, started featuring these properties as homes of the rich and the famous. Their key features are stucco walls, red tile roofs, arched doorways and windows, complemented by wrought iron heavy doors and decorative tiles. You're going to see this type of architecture way more in warmer climates like Arizona and California. The next style are ranches. The ranch style is built completely around practicality. Just like its name, they did originate on Western ranches. There are some sub-styles within this genre, but they share a lot of commonalities. They're designed to have easy connection to the outdoors. Typically, you're finding these as single-level structures above ground, most having basements as well. The floor plans are often designed in an L or a U shape. It's also not uncommon to have decks, patios, or garages connected to these homes. On the exterior, you'll find a low-pitched roofline, large windows, and sliding glass doors off the back end. The 7th and final style that I have for you today is the Victorian style. The Victorian style stems from the period of which Queen Victoria lived and had her reign over Britain. We began to see this style emerge between 1837 and 1901. Victorians were very into high fashion at the time, and they wanted their homes to mimic castles. In reality, this type of architecture is a bunch of sub-styles all mixed together. It's a real-life dollhouse. The construction is more directed towards the creation of beauty rather than functionality. They're more complex in design with elaborate trim and woodwork, bright colors, high-pitched roofs, cylindrical turrets, and large wraparound porches. Now, let me say this. There are additional architectural styles within the US. The only reason I mentioned these 17 is because they are the ones that I come across the most often. You might have also noticed that I didn't mention terms like traditional, or villa, or manor, or townhouse. And the reason why is because I consider these terms to be more of blanket terms rather than specific architectural design styles. For example, a townhouse could be contemporary, it could be Victorian, it could be colonial, it could be many things. Villas and manors also share many different styles. These types of terms, they represent the property layout as a whole rather than its individual style. So there it is, part 2 of popular architectural styles within the US. If you have a favorite type of home style, feel free to comment it down below. I'd be interested to see what type of exteriors you guys are into. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up. If you feel like sticking around a while, feel free to subscribe. See you on the next one.